talking about House of Dragons or The House of Dragons, episode 9, the
House of
penultimate
the
episode.
Dragon.
House of D. Period.
All of it.
Hot D.
Hot
All
D.
of it.
Hot D. Hot D.
We talking about every bit of it, all of that, and I'm joined with, of course, with these amazing guests. Right beside me, we have Afro Coming 765, aka Tori. How you doing today, my guy?
What's going on? You already know. It's your local neighborhood dirtbag here to give you your daily dose of dragons. A little bit of hot D for all you lovely viewers.
Yeah. And below me, we have the legendary man himself in Indiana. How you doing today, Joe?
I got hot D for everybody.
Shout out to that. By the way, the question of the day, we know how we do now. We have the question of the day. I want you to answer it throughout the episode. I will show it. Question of the day, do you ride with Alicent after this episode?
Nope.
So let us know in the comment section, in the chat, as we go through the show. I will randomly bring it up, and we're going to talk about, do you ride with Alicent? I will also have other questions throughout the show that you can answer and be part of the show and become part of the community. And tell us your thoughts as we go through it. But what an episode, Tori. Amazing. It was like slow, dreary. It was very dark. I noticed that the whole episode was dark. It wasn't like much light. Everything from sound, the music, chorus was amazing. It was one scene I didn't like. We're gonna talk about, but it was one scene with his hands in the wrong place to do what he did, and it bothered me because Tori know I'm a little nitpick videographer dude. So that annoys me.
It's the little details that get you.
Yeah, it didn't make me upset because it visually throws me off because, again, I want to do this in the future and do film, and I'm like, why did you...
Exactly. I was going to say, you're looking at it from the filmmaker's perspective. That's why that kind of stuff bothers you.
Yeah, it's like, and it's obvious, too, but a lot of people won't notice it because they just watch the show, but for me, we want to do film, and but most of the episodes, like I said, dark, dreary, the sound, the slow motion, the camera angles, I enjoyed everything visually. This was probably one of the best visually seen episodes, even though it was darker and dimmer of the whole show. Joe, how did you feel about this episode? No.
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
All right, baby.
Because what? I don't understand. Niggas don't want to be the king. Niggas is like, yo, I just need to rape something. I mean, R-word something. I don't want to be the king. I just rather just R-word stuff. Then there's like little kids that are randomly white haired that gotta be his kids. So it's just bastards everywhere. What else is going on? That nigga don't want to be the king. Aemond looks like a king to me. He's the only kingly nigga in the show. And I fucking hate that red-haired bitch.
We know Joe answered too, of course. Again, let's show y'all again. Question of the day. Joe told it. Do you ride with Alicent? Let us know in the comments.
I heard her name wrong all day long.
Tori, tell us your thoughts on the show.
I felt like this was a really good example of a penultimate episode. I feel like it's going to be a lot of people's least favorite episode though, because you didn't get a lot of the characters that are the trendy characters, but I like that this gave you a sort of look into the usurping of Rhaenyra's crown, so to speak. And there were like some changes in the book that were for the better, because in the book they hide that Viserys died for 10 days in the book while they set up how they were gonna put Aegon on the throne. And they got to it a lot.
Was Rhaenyra even in this episode? I don't remember seeing
her. No.
She was.
Yeah.
You remember they went back last week. They went back.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay.
She's on Dragonstone. But I feel like this episode did a good job to show you where people's goals are going to be. It did a good job of planting seeds that are going to grow. Like, season 2 is going to be the start of this civil war proper. Like, armies will take the field in season 2 of this show. So that'll be super dope to see. But I feel like this episode, all it's in a self-capsulated thing. Like this might be one of the best character fleshing out setup episodes ever. Like
I've been looking
it
through
gives you
Twitter.
a real look into at least one side of this conflict's top brass, the hierarchy. Like you get to see, you got to glance at the real dirt that's going on while these people are trying to accomplish the goal of putting Aegon on the throne. All the while, Rhaenyra's pregnant on Dragonstone with
This nigga
Daemon.
sucks. Aegon, that nigga sucks.
Yeah,
He
bruh.
is not king. He's not kingly at all.
We'll get to that because they give you a lot of. There are a lot of. If you've read the books, there are a lot of little Easter eggs in this that tell you about freaking what kind of king Aegon will be. But we'll get to that once we get to Zelmay's scene by scene breakdown.
Are we done with the R word? Or does it only get worse from
It's
here?
bro. It's George R. R. Martin. He's never done with the R word / SA.
All I know, my man is hiding in some little bitty
That's
container
his
somewhere,
button.
but we're gonna talk about that in the show.
Look at how he had Clubfoot going this episode.
Oh, by the way, that has been trending.
And they hit the nail on the look. They are not afraid of just being in your face. The nigga's name is Clubfoot. Look at him.
Yeah. And this show did go there, and I have noticed that is trending. By the way, from what I've seen on Twitter, everybody enjoying the episode. They didn't think they would if they didn't show up, but they really did.
I haven't looked through. I figured a lot of people would be mad because
they were disgusted at that scene we just talked about. But other than
Daemon and Rhaenyra. I knew that was gonna be a.
It was very climatic for sure.
Let's get into the breakdown. Hit the theme intro. So we start off this episode. We see the Iron Throne. It's very dark. It's very dim. We see a little kid running to what we assume is one of the maids or his mother, whispering something to her. She goes to the room to check, and for the last time, we see Patty Considine as
R.I.P. Patty.
And
we love you, nigga.
And we see Alicent. we see Alicent in the room.
Bruh, he fucked that roll up. Patty Constantine better get a motherfucking Emmy.
Give me made episodes for sure. I don't know. Was he a better Ned Stark? Because I like Ned Stark.
No, whoa. Sean Bean, bro. Sean Bean, bro.
I like Ned Stark.
Ned Stark's fire. But we had more time with Ned Stark.
We did.
Technically.
He didn't have that much.
No, Patty had 8 episodes. How long did
But most of it wasn't about him, though. Ned Stark was like the main character.
For like 12. He had 4 more episodes.
And he had more screen time because he wasn't even the main character.
Yeah,
Ned Stark was the main character when he was doing his thing. But
he was the main character when he was killed. Like,
hey, when you watch that first season, you think
that's why
he the main character.
George R. R. Martin, bro, he is in the process. If he ever finishes this will go to, if he ever finishes those books, best fantasy, even if you got to call it adult fantasy, best adult fantasy novels of all time, bar none. If we get a Winds of Winter and a Dream of Spring, bruh.
If it means anything, I love Rob Stark and I love Catelyn Stark. So
because it's still a whole different story. It's still a whole different story in the books as opposed to even the show. You know, in the books, when Catelyn Stark gets her throat cut, she comes back as a zombie named Lady Stoneheart that runs the the Brotherhood Without Banners. They're the Darian and them, and the fucking niggas up in the Riverland. And she's the one that finds Brienne. But it's a whole different story in the books than the show. There's a reason why them last 2 seasons sucked, because George R. R. Martin hadn't written that shit yet. You didn't have nothing to go off of.
Yeah. But Alicent is in the room. And
sorry.
Back to 1772. Okay, let's go.
Back to
way before that. But
124. 124 AC.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that's the year now.
before
Alice-
before the real Aegon.
Yeah.
Well, after Aegon's conquer.
Yeah.
Fair
There's
enough.
before conquer, and after conquer.
Got it.
But Alicent is in the room. She asked the maid who knows. She said only me. And I think she told the little boy. They discuss, and then we see her in the room doing the little hands like this. Otto speaks, said the king is dead, tells the council. He acknowledges. He said she tells them that he said at the end that he wanted Aegon to be king. She did such a good job though. I'm gonna have to say this. I had to go back to the episode before to make sure he didn't tell her this.
No, he told her. He thought he was talking to Rhaenyra, and he told her he was saying the prophecy. But what this does is a larger thing. Now we understand why they don't know about the prophecy in Game of Thrones. Because that was the main question I had when he first told Rhaenyra in the earlier episodes. It was like, okay, if this gets passed down from person to person, why didn't the Mad King Aerys know that? Like, why didn't he know about the prophecies and the White Walkers and shit, and they just let the dragons die out? But this gave a reason why, because he thought he was talking to Rhaenyra last episode, and he was talking about the prophecy, and she took it literal as him saying that her son Aegon, their son Aegon, was going to save the world. And
what she interpreted was she skipped some of his sentence and just heard what she wanted to hear.
No, but listen,
essentially.
But I'm saying, and that's why the dagger doesn't have the same meaning in the freaking in the main story, because look at the way this episode, it doesn't get treated the way Viserys treats it. It gets passed along and becomes another royal bauble, and that's how it ends up in Littlefinger. Like, that whole thing was the death of a whole dynasty-long prophecy that was supposed to have them ready for when the Night King showed up. And it's crazy that we just interweave the plot like that so seamlessly off of a misconstrued conversation of the words of a dying man.
Yeah, and like I said, Alicent manipulated it. Cause I read back and watched it. She cut out on purpose what that man said. We're not gonna pretend like, oh, she just misunderstood. No, she knew.
No, bro. I honestly believe that she thinks that he meant fucking.
She had to skip words on purpose in her brain. She skipped the word prophecy. She skipped all this other stuff. And all I heard was Aegon mean king. That's all I wanted to hear.
Him saying the prophecy that Aegon should be king, her hearing that, he didn't tell her. I mean, he thought it was Rhaenyra, but freaking that doesn't mean that he wouldn't think, because she's got an Aegon too. But
all I know is she said Aegon prophecy, and he said,
but there are two Aegons. There are many Aegons, and at the end of the day, the Aegon they were talking about was named John.
But he said, "You will save the world. You will change it," and she got confused. That's all I know.
But no, I really do believe there was some misunderstanding there, like, because it's different in the books. Like I said, she's way more calculating. There is no feeling bad like the way she feels bad this episode. I don't rock with Alicent to answer the episode question at this point in time, but I understand her motives nonetheless.
Everybody hate the Hightowers. Speaking of them, Otto decides he's going to announce it to everybody. He's decided that he said he's going to make sure that they going to bend the knee, and Alicent knew they wasn't going to bend the knee, so she was like, "You're going to basically try to kill them, right?" And you were like, "Things got to be done." And she's like,
"Daemon ain't bending no knee."
Everybody know Daemon ain't bending no knee. And
I do like that she was visible. I felt like she was visibly sad when she found out Viserys died, though. Like, it really looked like it hurt her.
You don't care. She decided to move on quickly, but Otto, by the way, decided that he's this. Tori sound like Joe with Kanye today. Look at.
No, bro. Listen.
We not shooting Alicent, but all my
you gotta
family hate
remember, I already
Otto.
know how this all plays out. So I gotta cheat. Well, essentially how this all plays out, aside from the stuff they change. But I'm just saying, if it sounds like I'm playing devil's advocate, maybe I am.
Alicent also finds out that everybody here is planned all this without her.
Exactly.
And they have a council. And our old buddy Beelzebub, Tori gonna tell you his real name. I like Beelzebub. Even
Lord, my nigga Lord Beesbury. All my niggas love Lord Beesbury. R.I.P. Lord Beesbury. Okay, carry on. Damn, they did my boy bad. He's just a nice ass old white man.
Hey,
like,
my nigga. Hey, Alicent sucks.
Yeah, she does.
She's not even.
Niggas don't like Alicent. Hey,
she's not.
I'm a black side rider, anyways, in the world of black and green. Like I said, this next episode's gonna have y'all niggas. Woo!
She didn't do shit but marry the king, have some kids, and catch her kid jacking.
No, but I'm saying in the book, she was a lot more involved of the Green Council's planning. Like she didn't just find out like she did in the episode. So I mean, it's a little bit of a difference.
If I have to say who I'm rooting for in this show right now, I like Aemon. Even though he has the same face all the time, I like Aemon the most right now.
Hey, I told you niggas was gonna love Aemon One Eye. He's literally Daemon 2.0. He might not fight as good, but his dragon's a little bit bigger. So I mean, it might even out. He's not as good a fighter as Daemon, but his dragon, he's not as good a rider as Daemon either. Which is something I can't wait till we finally get to see some dragon on dragon combat, because Daemon is one of the most renowned dragon riders ever. Like this nigga be fucking bruh. He be
y'all forget. Hey, can we RIP Buzzerbeat?
Yeah, nigga, you heard me already. R.I.P. my nigga Beesbury. Fuck Kristen Cole. All my homies hate Kristen Cole.
By the way, this is the scene I hated. He put both his arms on his shoulder to make him sit down, but somehow his head went forward and his hand was on his head, and I'm like, they're distracting me. I'm sorry.
In the book, they just split his throat.
That would have been easier for me to comprehend than the weird two hands on that. And then everybody looked, and hey, they left his head on the floor and said, "Don't move until we decide."
Like button. Like y'all should smash the like button on this fucking stream.
Hey, fucking smash the fucking like button. Are you kidding me? What are you, weird or something?
Yeah.
And then, but they left his head on the table and said, "We're gonna leave it there until we done."
Yeah.
Y'all see that? That is disrespectful.
Hightower's on host shit.
Shout out to my guy. Said he ain't running no King's Guard until there's a king, and he ain't down for all this treachery behavior going on. He said he's moving on. He's dipping.
Yo, that's actually crazy though, because that character had been dead for like 20 years by the time this shit happened in the book. So I think it's kind of cool that he got a 20-year extension and got to have a dope walk off. You know what I mean?
He might be replacing somebody because we gotta see though. We see that the Otto is going.
We've established that they're having a freaking council to how they're about to put Aegon on the throne, right?
They plotted all this together and had the council. The one outsider they basically got rid of. Otto tells people to start rounding people up. He's looking for Aegon because he's not in none of his rooms. It goes in his wife / his sister room, and like, where is he? Alicent goes and she realizes that okay, Christian Cole, you must find him before your brother, before my father does. Aemon comes in the room. She sits with the daughter. I forgot her name. What's her name? Helena. I always forget.
Bugs.
Did you guys notice we had another beast? We had another beast beneath the board reference.
Yeah, she says that, which hints to something coming later in this episode.
But I don't know because there's something else coming down the pipeline. So I don't know if what we saw this episode was the actual beast beneath the boards, or if that's more foreshadowing. But carry on. Just a little Easter egg for the audience.
and her mom tries to touch her. She moves away. We see 2 kids. They go through the city. They looking for him. You see Sir Eric and Sir Eric for Otto. You see Sir Christian calling Aemon.
There were some
Aemon,
funny niggas in the book.
yeah. You see Aemon and Christian. Yeah. You see Aemon and Christian. They looks in this little whorehouse that he basically be in.
Yeah.
And Aemon tells him
he on the streets of Silk.
Aemon tells him Cole that my brother used to tell me to come in here and that you will get it with, and he's trying to teach me life, or that's how I interpreted it. And then you see the lady like, oh, you growing up. I'm like, yeah, she the one that took it, then Aemon.
But
he
bro,
looked shy around.
Because they say Aegon used to take Aemon to the street of Silk when he was young. So Aegon been doing the whoring up. But it's ironic because they find him at the same place where freaking Daemon gave the heir for a day speech. So you know the white worm's ears are everywhere in there.
That was also a reference in there later on. You see, like I said, you see Eric and Eric. For some reason they got similar name. I don't know if how you.
And they're both being played. They're both being played by the same guy.
Yeah, and they are tracking him down. They looking at all the little places. They find them. They eventually find a white worm. They bring Otto in. They make a deal, which I don't know how well that deal worked out. We find later on from our favorite spy Clubfoot, but
hey, Clubfoot. He came by that name.
Clubfoot was like this the whole time. The whole episode was like, shit getting messy, bitch.
That's the irony in that is George R. R. Martin 101. He just does that shit so we'll laugh.
We also gotta go into. I have to tell y'all this. I hate y'all know how I feel about this man.
Hey, all my niggas hate Otto. All niggas hate Otto.
In the beginning, I liked Otto. Like
my first episode title was "We All."
Bro, he has a little redemption arc. He had a little redemption arc for me when he came back, but then it just shows now that he's a bad dude.
My man, first instinct was like, "Hey, we finna kill his family and all the people that this man loved the day after he died." like what? You're not gonna give it a week? Oh, okay.
She tried to honor Viserys in that way.
They also went to this little kid slap fight club, and we found out that Aegon got a lot of bastard kids that Joe was talking about earlier.
That's how they execute one of the niggas in the fucking book. They throw him in there and have the kids kill him. They like break his legs and throw him in there, and then let the fucking child gladiators with their little sharpened teeth go in there and fuck them up.
Yeah, so we do find out. So we do eventually find out that he got kids everywhere, and Eric kind of don't like him, but yeah, we swore allegiance. So, by the way, I have found that no one likes Aegon. I don't even know if his mama loves him.
I ain't never met an Aegon I like.
You know what they say? It's a flip of the coin with a Targaryen. A Targaryen is either going to be super amazing
the first Aegon was
good,
cool with the sister wife.
or they're going to be a fuck up and a monster. It's literally one or the other when it comes to Targaryens. Even if they may start out one way, it's either going to be good and virtuous or fucking a demon.
And the first Aegon was cool. He just likes his sisters.
No, you got to remember, the first Aegon conquered 6 of the 7 kingdoms with his 2 sister wives, Rhaenys and Visenya.
For literally no reason.
Not for no reason. The doom of Valyria, all the volcanoes,
that's right.
all the volcanoes on their land erupted, and they were the only family that believed the geomancers and actually left. And so when the doom happened, all the other dragons and dragon riding families died because the Targaryens weren't even that high up in the Valyrian totem pole.
Also, we go to the next scene. We got Rhaenyra, I can't never say it, who was the queen who never loves. She gets blocked off from leaving her room. We just gonna focus on this scene. I'm trying to focus on scenes in the general. She was locked up in her room, and she tried to get out. She opens the window and sees people getting marched somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "What? Am I a prisoner here?" Yeah, so she sees people doing that, and we go and see that our favorite guy, Otto Hightower, has called all the leaders of the houses and said, "You all will bend the knee, or else."
You gonna kneel to King Aegon.
So he basically telling the houses, "You gonna do what we want, or else." What you know what I say to Otto? Even though you swore on Rhaenyra, and some people question, like, listen, you expect me to believe, just like the old man did, that
but
all
it
of a
is
sudden
honoring a thing that was made 20 years ago.
But they never honored nothing else. It's not a promise. You can't just, I'm gonna believe this guy's mother that he just randomly said this randomly after they've been wanting power the whole time.
When Viserys has been, that is the one thing throughout everything. He has been adamant that he wants Rhaenyra to take the throne.
And also,
man, that bitch. First off, let's talk about
this. This is my first time hearing this man die.
This
and
bitch
you sitting me here tell Ben to need to somebody. This man ain't been dead 24 hours, Tor.
This bitch started the show.
Like I said in the books, they hide it for 10 days while they make plans.
No, let's talk about
they
this.
By the time they get to him, the rats had started eating him. By the time they got to his body,
she literally came on the show lying and was like, "No, nigga told me out his mouth."
Well, no, I can understand how she could misinterpret, like, think.
No, I had to watch it again.
He's having like a death, like he's in like a fever dream, and him saying Aegon saving the world, she's interpreting as saying that he should be on the throne.
She knew that nigga was not all there. And
but you gotta think, no one knows this prophecy, but the king, which is no one but the kings know this prophecy.
Rhaenyra knows it, so she can.
Well, yeah, Rhaenyra knows it, but that's because she was supposed to be queen. But it's like the story, the words on the dagger.
But in what sentence did he say that he's supposed to be king? He said, "Save the world." He can save the world without being king.
But bro, like I'm saying, if she could interpret the best, what's the best chance of him saving the world is as king. I'm just saying.
Well, she just made that part up there. If Tori told me, hey, listen,
I'm saying in interpretation that he said what he said, but maybe she honestly might have interpreted that like he's dying and he's telling me this and he's just using these words, but I believe this is what he's saying.
Well, that's not a truth.
Well, no, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying I don't think she was maliciously.
She ain't malicious, but she's a psychopath.
Okay, I'm putting it to you this.
She took what she wanted out of it.
She genuinely believes that's what Viserys was saying to her.
Because she wanted to.
That nigga said...
Because you gotta remember, he thought he was talking to Rhaenyra when he was talking to her.
This is how.
So I'm not gonna sit back and take this fucking shit.
Every time I watch that, I'm like, man, how many lines did he do?
And
but that nigga Viserys was like,
Patty Constantine ate this role, yo. He fucking up.
And Patty Constantine, this is your last episode. This is how we're gonna send you out.
He was special.
And this is what we give Alicent.
To back it up with a source. My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Okay, now I'll give you that one.
She just misinterpreted it.
No, that's a source. She made it. He never said Aegon's king at all.
I'll give you that. Okay, Zelman.
He can save the world, but he didn't say nothing about being king.
Coked out TK. I'm always gonna love that. Vince McMahon saying shit that he doesn't mean. I'll also give you that. But
he meant that. He does the Undertaker. Okay, but we end up. They come back to her, she's talking to Alicent, and Alicent is basically trying to convince her to join her side. If I take away your dragon and you on our side, Rhaenyra is not going to attack us because now we got more dragons. Well, more older dragons now.
No, more older technically more dragons.
Hey,
but
do y'all niggas
that's where we got this right here is where it showed truly that Alicent is not a Targaryen. Because you don't take as you'll find out, like you don't take a dragon from a Targaryen, okay?
I'm trying to help out our sponsors here.
Yo, them people ain't paying me. They ain't no sponsor. But unless they want to pay me. But again, they have this conversation. She asked her about, do you ever had a thought of taking Iron Throne? She gave a look, told her she could stay in the room, and then ring the bell whenever you decide. Then we come back to her later on, and one of the Erics, I guess, breaks her out, says she's not for all these things, what they doing. They walk through. This is amazing, by the way. They walk through the castle. You see the guy who it was a guy trying to run away earlier after he bent the knee to tell them that what they was trying to do, and Clubfoot snitched. And of course Otto, being who Otto is, he snitched. Of course, we saw him hanging right there, which was very impactful, by the way.
They just cut off his head. No. He might have been. He was either the one that got his head cut off, or he might have been the one that got the child pit mauling.
Yeah, they decided to do it more efficient and quicker way, or Rhaenyra
a more striking way too.
Yeah, she walks by. She looks. She sees what's going on, and then she walks down. And then we're gonna go into the Clubfoot. Then we're gonna finish this. Clubfoot meets Alicent. And
Clubfoot don't do nothing but sit and stare at niggas.
Hey,
snitch on everybody.
He's just trying to get the tea. That nigga's smooth operating.
Hey, dude, that final,
he's just
that's final.
Hey,
go ahead.
He's just exercising his footwork.
Hey, in that final scene, he was just sitting there in the fucking stands at fucking the field house at Muncie Central, just doing what he does, just staring.
Might be a little drunk.
Yo, she
possibly some crack.
Yo, she starts showing her feet in a way, and she turns around, and this man just pulls it out and starts playing with himself.
Bro, how does Clubfoot have a foot fetish? Let's go, George R. Martin for the fucking win.
For y'all that don't understand why.
What a weird ass fat white guy that's old.
But bro, I wasn't sure. I was not sure they were gonna. This was one part of the books I thought they might leave out because it'd be too weird. But as soon as I saw her start to take her socks off, I was like, they're gonna have it. They're actually gonna show it. So it wasn't just a rumor. It really did happen.
In the most disgusting scene, this dude was so hideous. This man just stopped.
We're talking about Game of Thrones here.
Yo, this cleared up a mystery that's been in the George R. Martin universe forever. Because I believe this was one of the mushroom accounts, and he was like,
if I'm not mistaken, all this shit is made by WB is doing it. Warner Brothers does this, right?
HBO?
Yeah,
Warner Brothers, right? Because they're in.
I don't know if Warner Brothers, but what I was saying,
Arya's in that.
Warner Brothers is HBO now and Comcast. It's all. I mean, not Comcast. It's Warner Brothers. Comcast.
It's like
but there was a rumor forever because in the book. Yeah. In the books, it's Mushroom. He's like the village idiot midget. He's the court jester, and he used to say that freaking Alicent paid Clubfoot freaking info with foot jobs, and fucking of course no one believed him, and like we never get. There's no concrete evidence. It's coming from a drugged out fucking little person, but now we know the truth.
Baba, can we? I forgot this scene. This is a dope scene in this show. I absolutely forgot about it. I don't want to forget about it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the feet scene. This is a dope scene in this show. Just some dude jerking at the bottom of the queen's feet.
The Lord is
Dowager.
the Lord. When I was talking about the Lords, they all came up, and whoever didn't agree were cut. I said that, but it was this old dude who said, "I am not an oath breaker. I will not bend the knee." And I'm like, "Oh, he fine." Oh, he said, "He's like, you can do whatever, dog. I'm going." The other dude was kind of scared. He bent the knee, and then he gonna try to sneak off. This dude like, "Nope, I am not an oath breaker. I will not bend the knee." Otto looked at him.
Yeah, bro. Shout out to them niggas that tried to stay loyal because they were swore to Viserys and Rhaenyra. Like, the Greens are in the wrong here.
100%. This is a complete manipulation, power grabbing.
I don't fuck with Alicent, man. She sucks.
But at the same time, if you believed, would you do something along the same lines? If you believed that if your stepdaughter took the throne, she would then have your kids killed? Wouldn't you try something along the same? No, just a yes or no. Would you do something? I'm not saying would you do this, but I'm saying if you were in her situation, would you attempt to do something to secure the lives of your children? If you truly believe that their sister taking the throne meant that somebody was going to try to kill him, especially with Daemon as her husband, which would make Daemon king consort.
I don't know if I would believe it, but if I thought, probably.
I mean, look at Daemon's reputation. But
hello. Tori, your mic echoing.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, they came out and said they will not bend the knee. Joe, would you bend the knee?
Not to them green motherfuckers, no.
Shout out to Joe. Joe going out like a boss. They would have had you strained up, ready to sing with
man, that dragon was gonna be screaming with me, not at me.
You'd have been gone before that happened. They took care of all them people. They took care of all of them early. As we slowly get Tori back, we're gonna go over a little bit more of the show as we go. But Rhaenyra did something dope. They had a walkout, and she was seeing the people who didn't agree with it hung and beaten and tortured and put in jail and all these other things. She could see it. They took her outside. She was like, "I need to get to the Dragon People." Like, "No, you need to get on this boat and go." And then the crowd was coming this way, and they all like basically essentially swarmed her into like back toward the room, and so she decided to follow. And she was seeing how the Green Council basically is good on how the Green Council was doing. They forced everybody in. The soldiers were sending them into the room. She's watching. She sees the ceremony, and she looks over and like, "I know these niggas ain't on this day having a ceremony a day after my brother died, essentially." And then this is when I knew when I saw that look. I think this is when Tori, I can interject if Alicent can. I feel like this is the moment she made a clear choice. What she was doing. Like, oh, they doing a power grab. I don't agree with this. So she sneaks off and goes to the Dragon Pit. They have this whole ceremony. Aegon hates this whole thing until he gets on stage. And everybody cheers him. And that little thing he got on his head starts tweaking up. And he looks around and see all the people cheering. And if you could tell the character he is.
Wait, so Aemon is the younger brother? Because he looks like the oldest.
He's just taller.
Yeah, he's just taller. But yeah, Aemon's 3 years younger than Aegon.
Yeah,
Aegon looks like the youngest. Aegon looks like the young. Did we see the little sister in this one?
The sister is Aegon's wife.
Yeah, the girl that was his wife.
She gave us the beast beneath the board line again.
Yeah, I'm about to watch this episode again.
Yeah. And essentially, what I got a question for y'all too. Would you want Aegon to be king after all he acted throughout the whole series?
No, this dude want to be with that nigga.
Why would you want someone to be king that doesn't want to be king?
Matter of fact, this dude seemed like he would be the worst. He's like, yo, listen, I just want to go watch a little kid fight and put my kids in there so they can fight.
I posed a question on Twitter.
I just want to go to Child Fight Club and bang hookers, man. Come on.
I actually posed this question on Twitter. You guys can follow me at Uniqo_Williams on Twitter. I actually posed this question: who's worse, Joffrey or Aemon? I kind of
Joffrey still by a mile. Joffrey still by a mile, bro.
But Joffrey by a mile? Joffrey was just getting his bitches beat up. He wasn't
cutting off her father's head, putting it on a spike, and making her look at it.
That's worse than R word?
Yes. In my opinion.
Listen, we not going on the rate of what's the worst. Humiliating.
You don't get a comeback from that. Murder is worse than the R word. At least you can survive the R word.
Listen, we not getting into what crimes are worse. Bad is bad.
Joffrey is still way worse.
The question of the day is Joffrey or
technically, Joffrey R-worded a few people in Game of Thrones too. So he did that on top of it.
Yeah.
I just thought he beat chicks to death.
No, bro, go back and read it. Don't even go back and watch it. Read it.
I want to read those pages about Joffrey.
Aegon,
that would scare me actually at this point.
Aegon has little kids that punch each other, and he got him in this fight pit because he's a weird dude, very strange man. So would you want
just the kind of person you want to be king?
I would prefer Joffrey to be my king over Aemon. I mean, not over Aemon, but over Aegon.
Really?
Yeah.
Y'all let us know the question that
you gonna die.
Yeah.
But he is sending you straight out to the Northmen or the Stormlords to get murdered, Joe.
But what would Aemon do? He would R-word me.
Aegon gonna try and get everybody to run away, so he's gonna have you survive, so he can still have a chance to. Joffrey just gonna let you die. Which would you rather have? The chance to survive and possibly get the R word, or just get dead?
Both of those sound terrible.
Exactly.
But that's why we root for good people like Peace King Viserys, who just want to sit here and watch. What about the current
Joffrey? I gotta let Zomay get into it. With the coronation.
By the way, as Tori said, we has had the coolest moment probably in this show. You hear a loud roar. My bad for the mic. You hear a loud roar, and all of a sudden people start running out, and a dragon has entered the building, and Rhaenyra decides she's gonna make a statement right now on this joke ground.
If we're getting right here, we need to go back to the coronation. When Kristen puts the crown, you got to notice the crown that he put on Aegon is the original conqueror's crown, not the crown. The crown that Viserys wore was the crown of Jaehaerys, the springtime king, the king of peace. What the crown that Aegon is wearing is the crown of the conqueror. And all through history, it's shown the kings that wear that crown are the worst. Maegor the Cruel wore that crown. Mad King Aerys wore that crown.
Did he? Mr. Firewater himself wore that crown?
Yeah, he wore the crown of the... Well, because think, Viserys' crown was in the grave with him, so that was the end of the Springtime King's line. And the crown will come into play in later seasons and maybe next... But anyways, I just want to let that be known that they were making a distinct thing when they made... Because they didn't tell you either or in the book, really, I don't believe. But it was really distinct.
Who's the Mad King's mom and dad?
Bro, too many. They haven't been born yet.
Okay.
They're asking generations.
No, I was like, at this point, like, who is the Mad Kings? Like, where Robert Baratheon was like, "Fuck this nigga, we got."
I'm pretty sure he comes from the Aegon side of things. So
that's fair. That makes sense.
But I lost what I was even saying. So
something to do with the crown of the Mad Kings.
Well, no, yeah, just that it was in the book they never really specified, but them specifying putting Aegon's crown on him. But I don't like, because in the books he flies in on Sunfire to be coronated. He flies in on his dragon, so it's like a show of force. So it would have been, so they sort of left out a key clash.
Well, to be fair, that don't fit his character in this show because he don't want to be.
Well, no, in the book though it sets up, because this was supposed to be one of the real. In the books, there's supposed to be like a little mock scrimmage that shows Aegon's ineptitude because he tries to use Sunfire to take on Rhaenyra and her dragon Meraxes after it escapes, and she may be old, but she's like, no, nigga, I've been riding dragons for too long, and you drinking fuck too many.
Rhaenyra is the next one to go out.
Oh, I don't.
You just gotta wait and see. But no, I accidentally might already spoiled who's next to go for Zelmay. So
he did. So
we hate Alicent. Okay, stop asking the question. We hate her. She sucks.
I want to know. Maybe she has a fan. I want to communicate with Alicent fan.
All she's done.
Just remember, she's doing what she's doing. She's doing what she thinks is the best thing to keep her children alive, whether we agree with it or not, whether it's fucked up or not.
All she's done is keep her is bare.
Yeah, we interrupted the best scene in the whole show that the internet is going crazy about, but that's happy about. And they're upset at the scene too.
I thought the foot scene was that scene.
No, that was the most disgusting scene. This is the favorite scene.
So of course the people who think that the beast beneath the boards.
Yeah, and then the dragon came in. They looked at him. Alicent steps in front of her son. I don't know if they can be burned. Cause I'm like,
from the ground though. You gotta realize how he bursted out of the floor.
He did. It was amazing. And the dragon, she closed her eyes, and the dragon roars at her, and she looks in this cool looking scene in her outfit. Just looks.
The dragon's name is either Meraxes or Melees. I'm not.
I think it's Melees.
Sure which one.
I think I looked it up because I want to know the dragon name. I think it's Melees.
Okay. Well, I know there's one named Meraxes that's on their side too. So I know there's Meraxes and Melees. Okay, so that's Melees.
Yeah, I think it's Maelys. Is that it? I think that's how you spell it.
Yep, that's Melees. Because Meraxes is Maraxis.
But the dragon comes and roars at him. She looks off, and then they tell her to open the door, and she flies off, basically giving mercy, which the internet hates because they wanted her to burn all of them and have no more problems. Show over.
I mean, you got to think her granddaughter's already betrothed to one of Rhaenyra's sons. Rhaenyra was betrothed to her husband.
Oh, I love that line from last week. That line from last week was you can joke about me, but do not joke in front of my betrothed.
Yeah.
Also, there was another. Hold on, actually, I tweeted this. There was actually another good line. You know, I love the lines in the writing for
bend the knee, Joe.
Good one-liner.
Just bend the knee, Joe.
There was bend the knee was fine, but there was another one. It was hold on, because I tweeted it. It was no. Oh, wait, no. Oh, should they come looking for me, I intend to be found.
Oh, Joe likes Aemon. We can tell that.
I do, man.
Hey.
If they come looking for me, I intend to be found.
But go back and check the archive episodes.
I retweeted about a girl shaving her ass.
Check the archive episodes. I told these niggas off the gate when Aemon One Eye came on the scene, shit gets different. One Eye don't play, and that's why I think him and Daemon, spoiler alert, have their little rivalry. I mean, we know it's leading to the Civil War. That's what the show's about. But I feel like they'll play it real good. Like Daemon and One Eye, just them niggas go through it.
I want to know y'all question because I've been seeing this on the internet, and we're gonna get off the show.
It's his brother's son.
Also, I know we're gonna get off here, but one more line of the day, and it didn't even come from anybody on Game of Thrones. It was from my nephew Javon. He said, "I seen you under my bitch likes."
Shout out Javon. I
Shout
love
out
that.
Javon.
I love that nigga to death, but he be getting on my. Shout out Javon. Young
I see
Shaft
you
in
under
the
my
house.
bitch like.
I'm my bad, dog. I didn't mean to. But I want to ask y'all the question, the audience, before we get off this the last thing. Besides the
Hey,
question of the day, of course.
Joe, was it a white girl? Was it a white girl who's like you were under?
No, it was a black girl.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Answer the question of the day.
Light skinned girl though, and I don't know. I don't know.
No. I'm Black Dragon all day till I die. I ride with Daemon and Rhaenyra.
Yeah. And the other question I'm gonna ask, because it was a spoiler, should Rhaenyra had ended it right there? Because I've seen this on Twitter. Everyone wants to say she could have ended it. All she had to do was say one word.
But she's different. Like, I think she saw it as.
I'm talking about you, Tori. I'm not talking about her. We understand her feeling.
She had the upper hand. She had the power, and it would be beneath her to act on that. Like, she would rather meet one of their dragon riders on the field with their dragon than to
would Daemon have done it to her?
No, I think Daemon would have told somebody to go get their dragon.
Danny
what about Aegon, Tori? What about Aegon?
Danny would have said
Aegon would have done it.
Aegon would have done it. Aegon like, yo, listen, I got some strippers in the back and y'all in the way.
Daemon would have told Aemon to go get Vhagar. He'd be like, you go get on that big bitch of a dragon of yours. Me and you going at it.
But Aegon, we all agree Aegon would 100% did it because he got some prostitutes he needed to get to.
He's a fuck nigga. He'd have done it. He'd be like, haha, your dragon's not here. Because you gotta, like I said,
we got a breaking news tweet here. The tweet is not the foot fetish for information.
Yeah.
She give him information. She pulled the feet out.
But bro, I'm telling you, freaking Aemon, keep your eye on one eye.
With one eye, do it, Tor.
He might. He might.
Who's going to say Jacaerys?
I think one eye was the 50-50. He might do the same thing as Daemon and be like, Daemon, go get Caraxes. Let's duke this out.
Aegon is the only one we know 100%.
Yeah, Aegon's the only one 100%. But like I said, they take it away from the book because in the book, where Aegon had flown in on Sunfire, his golden dragon, fucking mate was. So when Meleys came in, there were two dragons, and Aegon thought he was gonna give it a try, and then fucking it was just something like Kristen Cole's like, no, like nigga, that is the queen that never was. That is fucking Meleys, one of the oldest dragons. Sunfire is one of the younger dragons. Look at how much bigger it may not be much bigger than you, but that is a seasoned vet dragon rider. You don't want these problems. So I'm kind of sad we didn't get that little dragon face off, but I like the way.
Like I said, I don't think it would make sense if the whole episode was searching for him to come in on Sunfire, based on the way the episode was going.
Like I said, in the book, it was supposed to be like this grandiose entrance of him flying in on his golden dragon.
This was like, yo, we gotta find him. He's gonna come to the thing. He's gonna get crowned. It's like we gotta hurry because he's gonna run away again.
But yeah, as much as we hate the Hightowers, they've got less dragons. I think the only fighting dragons they have are Vhagar and Sunfire.
And Sunfire, a young dragon.
No, but you can ride Sunfire though. If you can ride a dragon, you can fight a dragon.
And they young too. Let us know your thoughts. Again, question of the day before we got here. Do you ride with Alicent to the crowd? Joe, what can they find?
Why are you trying to trigger people?
Yeah, and Vhagar is one of the oldest dragons. That was Visenya's dragon.
I gotta remind them to like and subscribe, Joe. What can they find you, Joe?
Smash the like button like they smashed my nigga Lord Beesbury. R.I.P. Lord Beesbury.
R.I.P. Lord Beesbury.
I'm not anywhere near Alicent. Like, I don't know why you're asking that question.
I'm asking, did you like and subscribe,
You're trying to make people get mad on Beyonce's internet. Relax. All right. Mark Zuckerberg is going to cancel us because you keep on talking about Alicent. We don't like her. We hate her.
So what can they
Yo,
find you?
but the girl playing her role, killing it.
Yeah,
This
all of
whole
them killing.
ensemble of actors is eating
I agree.
every character. Even
And
the nigga
Uniqo
playing
is
club
where you can find me, but
shit,
I,
getting
I
this.
don't fuck with the queen, bro. Fuck her. The only queen I
Yeah.
fuck with is Cersei, and I
What?
thought because like I thought
That's
they were playing-
wild. That's a wild
thought-
what
statement,
happened,
Joe.
you?
The
We
only
can't
thing I
listen to
fuck
this.
with
No,
is
hold on.
Cersei.
Hold on. Let me say this before we get.
What?
Hold on. Let me say this before I get out of here.
The
I
only
thought-
queen Joe fucks with is
I
Cersei.
thought-
That's
I
crazy.
thought they were playing Cersei's music when Alicent would go in there. I was like, no, she's nowhere near Cersei. Period.
But no, I think this next episode is going to be some of everybody's favorite. I already spoiled a little bit of what I think could happen in the next episode to Zelmay.
But like I said, the show could be different.
Because he only read half the book for some reason.
I started school got a little. My grades started dropping.
I binge read George R.R. Martin. I will put myself into a hibernative state for 3 days.
Listen, my grades started dropping in college and stuff happened. You know what I mean? So you gotta.
I did that shit with the first 4 books and then had to wait forever for the 5th book and then did it with it. Now I'm waiting for 6 and 7.
So where can they find you at, my guy?
They can find me, of course, here on Overall 99 Media and at AfroCommy765 on all the other platforms. I'm probably on the internet somewhere being a degenerate, most likely talking. Maybe whatever drama's going on Twitch and Twitter. Who knows?
Oh my God, I am late. Joe, it's Sunday for most of us, except for y'all. So we got to go to our favorite auntie.
This morning's devotion, I was reading about Moses, and God spoke to Moses in the desert. Where we at? You know what I'm saying? Come on.
The greatest MVP we have ever had in history.
TT Cam.
The greatest. Every Sunday you gotta get them. I'm telling you, every Sunday we're gonna end Sunday off every time with it. So every day you gotta hear. Every Sunday you gotta hear TT Cam, and we're out. Peace.
TT.